Hello again and welcome to another video featuring an item from our collection. So today I'm going to talk about an object which is seen by every single person who comes through our museum front door, and that is the cupola I'm sitting on just now. So it's in the museum foyer. It was right beside the front door, and the reason it's here is mainly because it wouldn't fit anywhere else in the museum. So if you do come to visit the museum, this is where you normally wait for your tour of Kinnaird Head Lighthouse under normal circumstances. So it actually came off one of the lighthouse tenders. It came off the Pharos, which is the flagship of the fleet, or at least it used to be anyway. So what I'll do in this video is tell you a wee bit about the vessel it came off, and then I'll go on to tell you a wee bit about the object itself. So as I've mentioned already, the cupola I'm on just now, it came off the lighthouse tender Pharos. So there have been now 10 ships of that name in service of the commissioners, the current one going into service in 2007. The cupola I'm on just now, this came off the 8th vessel of that name, and that was launched at the Caldon shipyards in Dundee on the 9th of March 1955. The vessel was actually named by the wife of the Secretary of the Northern Lighthouse Board, Mrs. Glencorse Wakelin. The vessel, while it was being built, was always under the supervision of C.E. Cadger, a good lighthouse name, and he was personally responsible for ensuring that the vessel was up to standards. He was involved in the design and all the way through. So the lighthouse tender, the Pharos, although it was clearly the flagship, it was also responsible for undertaking the day-to-day work of a lighthouse tender for most of the year. So it would be relieving keepers from their stations, moving keepers around to new stations. It would be responsible for dropping off stores and also for buoy work. The 8th Pharos was able to do that. But being the flagship of the fleet, it was also the host of the commissioners during their annual inspection of lighthouses. As a matter of fact, the Pharos VIII had 8 single berth cabins for the commissioners to use during their tours. And that's really why this cupola was on that ship. It had to be fancier than the rest of them because it was the commissioner's vessel, even though they're only on it once a year or thereabout for their inspection tours in the summertime. So the Pharos VIII, it was in service to the commissioners all the way through until 1988 when it was decommissioned. Believe it or not, the cupola I'm sitting on just now was then made available for the 9th Pharos, and it was on board that ship all the way through until it was decommissioned in 2006. So it's been around Scotland a few times. So what is the purpose of the cupola? Well, it has a couple of purposes really. First of all, and quite obviously, it is essentially a bench. You know, it would be on the Pharos top deck near the back of the ship. And it was just used for enjoying the views as you passed. So you'll note that we have the brass work over the glass here, so you can lean back quite safely. It is quite fancy, as I've mentioned. It's all very nicely carved. You'll see we have some carved thistles in this part here, but you might also notice that the glass work that's held underneath the brass, it's decorative too. That's all frosted. So we have like a thistle design on the part on top here, but on the bottom part here you'll see we have the Commissioner's logo. For those who are more eagle-eyed, you'll note that the Commissioner's logo on the frosted glass is actually back to front, and the purpose of that was you weren't really supposed to look at it from the deck. You were looking up from the room underneath the cupola. So essentially, as well as being a bench, this is also a skylight. And that's really its purpose. It's a very decorative piece. I'm told that the commissioner's dining room or mess, whatever you want to call it, that was underneath. So again, they would have the enjoyment of looking up in the nice summer weather in June to enjoy the logo properly. So this isn't the only part of Pharos VIII we have in the collection. We also have the watch bell, which is just over by the door as well, which we ring when the tour starts. And believe it or not, we also have the bow plaque and also one of the steering wheels, or the ship's wheels I should say, for the vessel. So we do, although we don't have the full vessel, obviously, we do have some of the nicer parts of it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.